So the command line is first of all, command line is more secure than using graphical user interface. For example, Cisco devices used to have graphical user interface, but there were a lot of problems. It slowed down the routers. And then the more code you add to the operating system, it makes it more vulnerable. Okay, so that's why when you most of the Linux servers does not use a graphical user interface, but it doesn't mean that you cannot use graphical user interface. It's just you have to install it on top as an optional feature on servers. Maybe in module 19, when you will cover networking, Linux networking, you will learn more about how to manage servers. So command line scale. So Linux. So one of Linux use shell. The most popular shell is called Bash. Probably you guys already know that. So this is the Bash shell. Think of Bash shell is a program, is a software that is embedded in the operating system, and it lets you enter commands. All right, so this is, you already probably, if you don't know, you let me know. You guys already know this is your prompt. At this prompt, you have sysadmin is your username. So whatever username is there, you will see it here, and the name of the computer, which is the local host. Okay. And this is your current directory. You see the sign, tilde sign? That means you are in, this is your current directory, which is a home directory. Okay. And okay, next. So the command. So let's see the how to execute things in command. So first of all, there's an ls command. Do you guys know already what is ls command?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like the dir command in command prompt. It lists all your active directories.
Exactly. It lists all your files in your
Current directory.
current directory. Excellent. Thanks. So it's not going to list files everywhere. It will list files in your current directory. Okay. Now, what else? So when you, and each command, so this is the command, and each command has an argument, and also each command has options and the arguments. So there are multiple options for each command. They can go very long. And what option does in the command? Do you know? Anybody knows what is the purpose of the option?
Well, it gives different results. Like for instance, ls-a will show like some other directories that ls wouldn't.
Exactly. Yes. It filters the command. Okay. So you get different results. It's true. So you have different, and they're also called switches. So it's in and switches and options are, no matter what operating system are you using, you will see switches with multiple switches with commands in Cisco IOS, DOS, and also shell. All right, so this is the command is ls. So we're going to type the command, command ls, and now we're going to use the argument. What do you want? So if I just type ls, it shows me the list of current directory. But if I use the argument, which is now I want to see what's in etc ppp directory. Okay, so I'll type ls / etc ppp. Okay. Ah, so what was the error?
ETX
Yeah,
instead of ETC.
exactly. So yeah, well, you have to type the command exactly the way it's written. So ls/etc, give me the list of directories, files or the content of etc ppp directory.
So
So
doing
the
that, that's you're basically by doing ls and then these two things, you're specifying the path you want to have an ls done on.
exactly. Okay, so now the ls command also accepts multiple arguments. Okay, so it's right now we're using one argument. We're just looking at the content of etcpp directory, but we can also look at the content of etcppp and etcssh, two different directories. So I will just hit arrow key, repeat, top arrow repeats the command, but I don't want you to use that in the beginning. Start typing command, every single command, no copy and paste, no shortcut, because this is how you're going to learn about the command. I am allowed to do it, but not you. Okay,
It's still
etc.
ETX, I believe.
Oh, okay. Thanks. etc and ssh. So that gives me, so we specify the path. All right. We're going to talk about path in detail later. Right now, we're just talking about the command with the argument. Okay, so now options. Let's talk about options. So there are many different options. And when we talk about later, when we're gonna learn how to use manual pages, meaning help pages, you will see each command comes with many different options. Some options are regularly used, some options are rarely used.
Sir,
Yes.
for the manual pages, is that the command you went over briefly yesterday, where you would do like
Yes,
ls space man?
exactly. Okay. Well, I will show you this command right now. There's no
Okay,
reason
cool.
to wait. Okay. So if you want to know what command is, if you want to know the description of the command and what options are available in with that command, manual type man and command. We're going to go into the detail of manual pages later on. There's a whole chapter, but here, if somebody who's curious, so when I type man, right, it gives me the description of the command, what the command does, list directory contents, list information, and you see here it lists, sorry, space, hit a space bar, and it lists all the switches or the options and the description. Okay. You see just ls, how many options are there? Impossible to remember all these options. Okay. You see all these options with just one command, ls, which is a simple directory listing command. Unless you're a sysadmin only administering Linux servers, it's difficult to remember all the commands. That's why you should be able to use help pages. Okay, to quit manual page, here, type Q, hit Q. Okay, so we are back. Let's try another command, mn cd, change directory. No manual entry for cd. Okay, so it's not necessary every command is available. Like type man,
But
what is it?
in an example, like when you got no manual entry for CD, does that mean CD only has that one command variant or variation? Like there's only CD, like there's no CD dash whatever?
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, we'll talk about manual pages later on, go into the detail. Just here, I just want to show you very basic. If you want to quickly, when you're doing the labs and you want to quickly review the command, just type manual. So like apt, this is the command that you guys practiced with yesterday all day, right? Yeah, so here type man and you see command line interface. APT provides a high level command line interface for the package management and all the options that comes with APT. All right, that's it about the manual pages because we're going to cover that later, okay? So options, so LSL, so I'm not going to go, so LS -L, what it does is it provides long listing, okay? So if you see, if I just look at the different LS and LS-L, as you can see, it provides the detail listing, desktop, documents, the date they are modified, the size, permissions, okay? LS-R. This, do you observe the difference here and there?
Yes.
Okay, what's the difference?
So well, one's just the basic LS, like it'll show you the tree of what all it's like looking at File Explorer. It just shows you the pictures of each folder, whereas LS-L is like right clicking and going to the details or the properties of the actual folder to get more detailed information on each directory.
Yes. Okay. Now you can also combine two options or two switches. I'm used to call switches. Okay. So when I say switch, it means option because that's the word that is used in. So you can also combine two switches. So in most cases, option can be used in conjunction with other options. So LS-R will combine L and R switch. So LS-L and R. Okay. So if you see the result, it combines, it gives in the reverse order. It gives the listing in the reverse order, right? And plus, because that's what the R does, and plus L, it gives you the detail. Okay. Next, history. Oh, where is it? So practice with here. No, well, not the history. We're still here. So practice. There are other commands. The order of the combine option isn't important. So whatever order do you use, it's not important. You can switch. You can type LS or L, give you the same result. Okay. You can type LS -L or just without dashes. It will give. So there. All of them are the same, okay? All these three options will give you the same result. Now, by default, the -L option give you the size in bytes. So if I type just LS-L, look at the size. So it's hard to understand. Sometimes, okay, it's better. Which one is easier to understand? 4 megabit, okay, or 2000 kilobyte. So this is called human readable. So if you type LS-H, so let's say we type this. Let's look at the size of this command. Only I'm allowed to do that, okay? All right, the size is in, okay, R read root 2900. Do you know how many megabits is this? Okay, so what we can do is we can use H option. Okay, and let's see the difference. So if I type this -L with H option, (2.1 megabyte. Which one is easier, this one or that one? Okay, obviously the second one is easier, right? Okay, so in human readable file, you can also use this word human readable, but why would you use it? Okay, I will use H. So, but just in case, okay, so either you can use -H or just this. Okay, moving on. So argument and switches. Command history, very important. It is for people once you are familiar with the command line. Well, in Cisco iOS, I don't let or I don't suggest a student to use command history because I want you to type the command, because the commands are much longer in Cisco. Maybe here you can use it once in a while, but so history. So when a command is executed in the terminal, it is stored in the history list. Okay, so it's easier to make it to repeat the command by using arrow key, which is up arrow. Is it the same thing in PowerShell? Have you guys practiced with this?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So up
Yes.
arrow key. So if you want to see what commands are there, so let's say I'm going to type history. So if you want to see what commands are in the history, so these are all the commands that I have used recently, right? Do you see it? All these commands are in the history. Okay. So to view the history, just type history, and I'm gonna see all these commands there.
On Bash, is it the same as command prompt, where if you want to pull up the most recent thing you wrote, you just hit up on the arrow key?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Command history. Okay, so if the command is in the list, it generates, and it can be executed by typing the exclamation point. Okay, so if the history command is passed a number as an argument, it is going to show you that number of previous commands from the history list. Okay, so let's say here, so we record that. So history. So if I type history 3, oops. So these are, it outputs the number of previous commands from the history list. Okay, for example, show the last 3. So it shows the last 3 commands. So let's say you've been working on a computer for days and you probably have typed hundreds of commands, right? But there's one command and it happens, it's a long command that you rarely use, right? So you type this command, so now you have to type this command again. You're not gonna, if you type history, it will show you the list of many commands. So you can, it's filter. You can just filter the results by using 3. So it's just gonna show you last history. So let's say date. I type the command date, and then I type history. Okay, well, I don't have many commands, so it's okay. I found date, it's the 21st command, but let's say if it's 100 commands, okay, but I just want to see what are the last 3 commands. So I type, so date, history, and history 3. These are my last 3 commands. What else?
Oh, sir.
Yes.
So in this case, the 3 just shows the last 3 commands. So you could type any number to show the last.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Try it. Last 2 commands. Last 5 commands. Okay, exclamation part will show you the list from the bottom of the list. So last, that is the latest command. So what are the bottom? So let's see. Okay, I'm going to type history, just history again. What are the bottom 3 commands? History, history 5, and history 2. So if I type history, exclamation 3, what is going to show? Can anybody guess? Which
History
command is
2.
going to show?
History 2.
26, 25, and 24, right? What mistake did I make here?
You're missing the dash.
What did I do?
Missing the dash.
Yes, sir. Oh. Anyway, look, I don't expect everybody to memorize every single command, okay? What's going on?
Try it without the history.
Oh, yes. So it's date and
Actually, the exclamation mark is to run a command from the list. So if you did exclamation mark dash 17, it would run line 17 from the history.
yeah.
Okay.
Why? Okay, but why it's not running line 3? All right. Okay, it's yes.
Line 3 was the wrong thing. It was /etx.
Line 3
Okay.
was really high up. If you were
No, but it's also, it was ls/etx.
yes.
So it wouldn't
Okay,
work.
hold on,
Try
hold on.
line 15.
Line 15. Okay, let's see.
Boom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can't run history from the top of the list, only from the bottom.
So what are you saying, Aziz?
When you do history 5, it only shows you the last 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do history with anything else to show from the top of the list.
Oh, I see
You
what
only
you're
show
saying.
it from the bottom of the list, from the last entries.
Okay, all right. Okay. Well, okay, in this example, because I'm matching the example here with this, and I'm expecting the same result as the example. So in this example, it should show date command, and it's not showing. So, well, anyway, you guys understand what it
That's
means,
because
right?
date isn't in your date is 21 on your list.
Exactly, that's why. So yeah, but when I type, what else?
Can I ask a question really quick?
Yes, go ahead.
Just to have a better understanding on what you guys are saying. So when you put an exclamation point, it's to call a command on the list of things that were just listed. And then the dash between the number and the exclamation point, it's basically a connector to connect those 2 commands together.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, all right, let's see. Just type 2 exclamation, okay? What happens? Am I typing the right thing? Right. Okay. So here, history 5. Yeah, but it's so these are the two last command here. To execute the recent command type, sorry, the recent command is to type two exclamation, and it
That's
shows you the two last command.
sorry to interrupt, sir. That seems like it's also the same as 28, right? When you did exclamation exclamation, it gives you 28 from your list.
It's
your
not
history
giving
list.
28. It's giving
29
4 from
and
the bottom.
28.
It's
I'm
showing
sorry?
4 from the bottom.
No,
because it's
hold on,
repeating
hold
this.
on, hold on, Aziz. Look, when I type exclamation exclamation, it gives me the last two command. The execute
The
the
last
most
command that you
recent
did
command.
was
Sorry,
exclamation -4, right? The
history
last
and
command before
yeah.
exclamation exclamation
Mm-hmm.
was exclamation -4.
Yeah.
So that's what it reran.
History 5.
Okay,
Yes,
It runs the
exactly.
last command that
Okay,
you ran.
okay,
So
okay.
yes.
it was exclamation -4. So it just
Yes,
reran that.
exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Okay. All right, so let's try this again. So we have this history command, okay? And now we're going to type exclamation exclamation. Let's see what's the result.
It just did the same command again. So if you scroll up, you'll see it's there twice.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, okay, in order to use the history command, just use the history and the number 3, like
Sir?
last 5, last 3, last 4. This exclamation kind of yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, that the exclamation thing, I don't really get it, but I think I get it from the history, the line, and put the number in front of it. I grasp that, but, the
Okay,
exclamation mark,
personally,
really.
yes, exclamation, I don't usually use it. That's why, yeah, but yeah, just use this history with the 3 with the number. No. Because I'm not getting the same result as the example, so
I
it's
think it's
better
because we
to
did. I think it's because we did commands in different orders from the example.
exactly. So it's kind of so what we're gonna do later when you do the lab. There you will when you do the lab, you will follow the same order, so you will see the same result. Okay, I will go over this command later. Exclamation. Okay, let's move on. Variables. Do you guys know what variable is? Since you guys have done programming, anybody can explain what variable is?
Yes, basically it's just a like a label that points to a piece of data or holds a piece of data, like a box for
Exactly.
piece of
It's a
information.
given name that is stored temporarily in the memory, right? Okay. So there are two types of variables in Bash shell: local and environment. Remember that. Okay. So the local variables exist only in the current shell. Okay, when you closes the current shell or the terminal window, those variables are lost. Those are the local variable. To see the list of to set the value of variable, you use the variable equals value command. So if you guys remember programming, what does it mean? So we're gonna see what are the variable. The following examples creates local variable named variable and assign it the value of something. Okay, so we're gonna use this and we're gonna assign a value of variable equal something. Now the echo command is used to display output in the terminal. Whenever you type echo with with the tags. That tags will be displayed in your terminal. Now, what variable 1 is what? What is the value of variable 1? Sam,
Sir,
what is the value of variable 1?
in this case, is 1.
No, variable 1 equals, anybody can, Richard,
It will be
It's something.
something.
something. So variable actually is the value. So whatever I value assigned to a variable, that's this variable will become. So echo is the command that displays text on that displays text on the screen. So echo, and what is the variable? $variable 1. So it displays the value of, so it displays something. Let's try another one. So variable 2 equals what?
Anything.
Variable 2 equals anything. Oh, I type echo. Okay, but you see echo displays whatever is on the screen. So variable 2 equals anything.
Maybe remove the $sign. I don't know if it's used for assignments in Bash. The $sign from
Mhm.
before.
Yeah, you don't want the $sign.
Mhm. Right, so if I type echo variable 2, what's going to display on the screen?
Anything.
You can assign the value to any variable. Okay. Now, let's see. Environment. So that was the local variable. Local variable, when you close the window, when you close the shell, it's gone. Then you have environmental variable. Environment variables, also called global variables, okay, because they are system wide, because they're available in the whole system. There are pre-built variable in bash shell, such as path, where is it? Path, home, history size. Okay, these are all variables that are built in bash. Okay, the
Does
command, yeah, go
Sorry, I
ahead,
have a
Richard.
question. What's in that case like a command like ls? What's the difference between a command like ls and a variable like path inside of bash?
Well, it's just an example, Richard. They're not gonna list all the example.
Oh no, I get that, but like just like a basic command or an environmental variable, like how are they different? Or are they not different?
A command does something, like it
Okay.
performs an action. It's more similar to like a function in programming, where a
Whereas
variable just stores a piece of data.
and those are already
And
pre-stored
then they're
processes.
and then they're used as a command to make it simpler. The purpose, why do you create a variable? Charles, can you explain?
Well, it's to use it basically, like for instance, you could store a path in a variable and use it
Exactly.
later.
All right. Okay, Richard, the thing is, the variables are created to make the long task shorter. So instead of typing the whole path, right, you can just type one command. So that's what it means. Okay.
It's also useful if you're troubleshooting with someone, and for example, you don't know their full home folder location
Exactly.
or something like that. You can replace it with a variable, and then you can
Exactly.
send them the instructions, and they can copy paste them.
Yeah. Okay, so in the command, so if I type this command to modify the value of an existing variable, use the assignment expression. Okay, so echo. What is so the command line in the example below displays the value of history size variable. Okay, so the history size is the command, and the variables are 1000. So if I type echo dollar his size, actually I'm just going to copy and paste.
Sir, would you be able to make your screen, like zoom into your screen a little bit? I have a small screen, so it's a bit hard
Oh.
for me to see some of the.
Sure. Well, it's just gonna. Did it make a difference on the screen? It looks like
Yes,
now it's too big.
yeah, it's hard to get the right.
Is it okay now? Can you see it?
Yeah, more or less. Thank you.
I think it gets smaller, sir.
Yeah, the terminal side got a little bit smaller, but the explanation side got
Bigger.
larger.
Oh. Mm. Is it okay now? Can you guys see both?
Yeah. This one, yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So the history size variable defines how many previous commands to store in the history list. Okay, so that's what variable defines. Okay, Richard, I don't know. We'll if you still don't understand, you don't have to understand everything right away. Okay, one thing remember when you're learning, probably you're getting into more complicated courses or networking. If you don't understand something, don't stop there, just move on, because everything is relate to something else. So when you go to the next chapter, it will make more clear. Now I understand what variable is. Okay, so you don't have to understand everything right away. That's the mistake people make, and they just spend hours and hours and hours. One thing is always related to something. Maybe in the later topic will make the previous topic more clear. Okay, all right, so let's move on to modify the value. So the history size is the command, and the value is, so there are 1000 commands that can be stored in the history. Now you can change that. You can change it to, let's say, I want to store only 500 commands. So we can change the variable. Okay, so the command is history size equals 500. So what is the history size? Here 1000, we change it to 500. Now if I type echo history size, we change the variable. We change how many commands will be stored in the history. Okay. Now the environment env command. Okay. The env command outputs or displays the list of the environment variables. So let's see. Env. Okay. When run without the so when run without the arguments, it outputs the list of environment variables. So how many environment variables we have? Wow.
Sir?
We have so many. Yes.
I noticed that the history size is in uppercase.
Mm-hmm.
So it does matter, right? It has to be in uppercase.
The commands.
Anytime you're using the echo history size.
No, because this is not the command. It's setting the variable. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So if you type in lowercase, it will be the lowercase. It's not a command. You're setting the variable.
But the thing is if you set your variable in uppercase, when you go to call that variable, you have to call it in uppercase.
Yes. Everything is case sensitive in Linux, okay, in the command line. All right. So what I was doing, so you see, these are all the environment variables that are already stored in your shell. But you can also create your own variable. But these are all already stored in the shell. So in the previous example, variable was created as a local variable. So you see, since it was a local variable that we created something, we cannot the previous variable that we created something. Remember, variable one something, it does not shows in the output. Now what you can do is, so let's see, let's try to find out if where this variable is. Remember the variable we created, variable one? What was the value of this variable?
It was something.
We cannot find this variable because it was the local. Now you can export variable from local to environment. Okay, so with the export command. So variable one we created as a local variable. Now we will export it as environment variable. So now you see, we type the command export variable one. Okay, I'm telling you guys one more time. I'm typing and pasting because, well, I don't want to get stuck. I don't want to spend 4 hours in one chapter. But when you're doing the lab, type the command. Don't copy and paste, because in the exam you have to type the command. There's no copy and paste. And if you copy and paste, you will not learn the command. The only way you can learn command line is by practicing multiple times. Do like when I was learning command line, I do one lab multiple times, repeat it. Okay, so export variable one. Now, if I type grep variable one, the same command that I typed before, and it did not give me any result, what is going to happen? Guess what? Variable one equal something. So now before, since I exported, so you can export local variable to
environment variable.
Environment variable, yes. Okay, path. All right, so the export command can also make variable an environment variable, okay, while you're creating it. So here, export. So just to create a local variable, we just type variable equals else. Remember, variable equals something. Now we want to make this variable system-wide. The whole, we will use the command export. So now variable 2 is an environment variable. Okay. And when we type variable 2, we'll discuss grep command later. All 17, 18 chapters are about command line. So slowly, we're going to learn everything. So don't rush into what this command means. Just stick to the topic. Also, you can remove exported variable using unset command. So variable 2, if you want to remove the variable, we can use unset command. So unset. Now variable 2 is gone. So this is how you, so in this page, in this topic, what we learned, how to create an environment, how to export, how to turn local variable to environment variable by using export command, how to create an environment variable, okay? And how to remove an environment variable. Path variable. So one of the most important thing in Bash shell is variable to understand a path. Path variable is important. So what does path variable do? Okay. Okay. So path places the system that the variables list all the places the system can look for a program to execute. It's a very important variable. Okay. So it's set where to look for a program. So let's say if you type a program and you're in home directory and program is stored in etc directory, the path variable look for that program. Otherwise, you have to go to the directory to execute those programs. Okay, so so this command echo path will display the path variable. Okay, path of the current shell. Sorry, the path of the current shell. So echo path. Wow. Home, sysadmin bin, user local sbin, user games, user local games. So this is the path of the current shell. That's where the path is created, all these places, okay? If the command is not found in any directory listed, so each directory in the list is separated by colon. The path contains the following directories, all these directories, okay?
Sir?
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to make your own variable of a specific path, you would have to do it as a lowercase one, since this is already reserved in uppercase, right?
Or change the different name. Use the
Okay.
different name. Okay. All right. So we will talk. The path is important to understand the directory structure before you actually understand the path. Okay. So there's a little. We'll go in the detail of directory structure later. You guys know what path means. So in Windows, you have C directory and everything is stored in the C directory. C directory is the top level, the C directory. No, there's no directory in Windows. C drive, okay? And everything is under C drive. All your, I don't know, system files, user, whatever. There are no drives in Linux or Unix environment. Okay, you have directories, and the top level directory is called the root directory, which is identified as / character. Okay, that means root. That is the top level directory, and then you have multiple directories under root and the subdirectories. For example, you have a directory under root. You have a directory called home. And this directory stores the directory of every user. So we have a user called sysadmin, right? His directory is under home. If you create another user called Jeremy, his directory would be under home. And the path is from top to the home directory, okay? So that's what path variable does. So if the command is not listed in the path variable, that's where you get a message. So ZED is this made up command. Okay, it's not installed. It says sudo apt install ZFS ZED. This is another command, but it gives you the suggestion that there's a similar command that you can install. So if you install custom software, okay, on your computer, it may be necessary to change the path. We're not gonna go into the detail about variable and path. Just this is more complex topic that we will cover later. But here, just an example. So in this example, the following will add and verify user bin custom directory to the path variable. Okay. So if we change the, if we add this path, and then it will add it to the custom so this path is added. Okay, so this is how you can add path when you install. Okay, when updating the path variable, always include the current path, so not to lose access command located in those directory. Okay, this can be accomplished by appending path to value in the assignment expression. Okay, anyway, we'll not be creating or modifying path at this point. Later on, just understand that the variable assign a value, and there are environment variable and there are local variables. And well, you guys have done some programming. It's the same concept. Did you learn variables in programming?
Yeah, we had a programming module on Java.
Yeah. So did you use variables in programming?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly the same concept. You just assign a value to something. That's all.
So does that mean that Bash has like a base level of programming or scripting in it?
Oh, Bash is all about programming, of course.
Okay, cool.
All right, one way to learn more about command is to look where it can come from. Okay, so the type command can be used to determine information about the command type. So let's see, type. Okay, give me any command. What command do you know? ls. ls is alias to ls color. So it gives you the information about the ls command. We'll talk about the color and this alias and color soon. Okay. Now there are two types of command. Well, actually there are four types of so the type commands can be used to determine information about the command type, right? And there are several different sources of commands within shell. There are internal command, there are external commands, there are aliases, and there are functions. Okay, so let's see what type of cd command is. Remember, we typed cd and we couldn't. Cd is a shell, it's a built-in command in shell. Okay, so you have built-in commands. These are built into the shell itself. You have, so the example is cd, right, which is built in the shell. Then this is called internal command. Built-in commands are the internal commands. Then you have external commands. So external commands are stored in files that are searched by shell. Okay, so you can finding the command or which version it is using. So it is beneficial. It is useful to know to find the command or the version that it is using. So let's see which command. So which command is it searches the location of the command. So let's see. Let's type which ls. So this command is list in the bin directory. We'll talk about the directory later on. There are many directories. Okay. Now, external command can also be executed by typing the complete path. So if you type, so you see, if it wasn't for the path variables, you have to type the complete path to execute a command. Okay, Richard, because you're typing why. So bin dot ls. Okay, so bin dot, I have to type the whole path instead of just ls to get the result of ls command. Okay, so now type another command, which is calendar. Where is located this command? Which
So this is showing you like the path of what directory that command is stored in?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. You see, okay, in the previous chapter, where is it? Yeah, you see all these directories here? One of the directory is bin. Each directory has a purpose. We'll talk about this in later chapter, okay? Each directory stores a specific information. For example, home directory, I said all the users are located under home directory. Then the boot information, device information, etc. They're all different. So yes, we'll talk about this later. So these are the external commands. So you can find the location of these external command, which calendar, it's user bin calendar. External commands can also be executed by typing the path. Okay, type calendar, type echo. Okay, in some cases, the type output command may differ significantly of the which command. Okay, so you type, let's see, type echo. So it's also a shell built-in command. But which when you type which echo, what it say, it gives you the path. It tells you what command. Sorry.
Sorry, I just want to. I apologize for cutting you off. I just wanted to ask, the which command that gives you the location, would that apply to the variables that you create in the past as well? Like if we did like which variable one, would it do the same thing? Would it show us where it's stored?
If you use with variable,
Yeah, like if
no.
you apply, no.
Okay, which command is only tells you the location.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like this is showing us the location of our commands, but will
But if
this
you want to
also?
see the location of variable,
Yeah.
you have to type. This is something different. You have to type. You have to be either environment variable or local variable. That's a different command.
Okay.
Using A option of the type command displays all locations that contains the command named. So let's see how many locations this command is located. Okay, so type -A echo will give you all the location where echo command is located. So echo is a shell built-in command, and echo is in bin echo directory, in bin directory. All right, next, aliases. What does aliases mean? Do you have any alias? Anybody has any anybody has an alias?
That's like a nickname, right?
Exactly. So an alias can be used to map longer commands to shorter key sequence, just like human being, right?
So
So if
like
you have a
sudo apt install, can we make that an alias?
hey,
To say like sudo apt install when you or sudo apt or forgot the
yeah, you
command
can make
sudo
a alias
dpackage.
exactly,
Okay, cool.
right? But that's mostly no. You do that for the easier way to do that. Make a long command short is by using a script, which is later on. Okay, by using a script. Okay, but you can do that with alias as well. So an alias can be used to map longer commands to shorter key sequence. For example, the command ls-l is commonly used alias to L or LL. All right. So to determine what aliases are set on the current shell, let's type the command alias. All right, so on the current shell, we have alias alert equals notify send urgency, aliases grep, color, auto, alias L equal LSCF, aliases ls equal color. Okay, so there are many aliases here for the grep command and for the ls command. Like for example, ls color auto. When you type ls, it lists the directories and file in different colors, executable files. Like right now, you only see directories, right? So which are blue color, in blue color. So this alias ls equal ls color, actually shortened. So this is the command actually ls. So if you want to see all your directory and files in different color, you have to type ls color equals auto. That's a long command, right? So what you did is you created an aliases to shorten this command. So when you type ls, well, it's create not you, but it's already built in the shell. Okay. So when you type ls, it gives you the list. Actually, it's executing this command, which is a long command. Okay. If you remove this alias, when you type ls, it will not show you different colors. It will be like it will be all the files will be the same color.
Like bin ls, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Like /bin
Mhm.
/ls.
Yeah. So ls command is the alias is already created. Well, for you now to understand one thing, that alias is created to shorten the command. That's why you create aliases. All right, what else? The type command can identify aliases to other commands. So let's see, type ll. Okay. So you can also create new aliases. So let's try to create a new aliases. For example, the calendar 2019 command displays the calendar for year 2019. So let's see, cal 2019. So it displays the calendar of 2019. So instead of executing the full command each time, you can create an alias called my calendar and run the alias. Okay. So instead of typing cal 2019 to see the 2019 calendar, right? We can name it as my calendar, or just M, whatever. But when you create an alias, it has to make sense. Otherwise, you're not gonna remember. So just don't use any random name or alphabet. Okay. So I'm gonna type alias Michael equals Cal. So that was the command 2019. Remember? Okay. So we create the alias. All right. So before we to display the 2009 calendar, we had to type cal 2019. Okay. Now, since we created an alias, okay, Michael, all you have to do is just type this new command, Michael, and it displays the same thing. So it shortens your, so this is how you shortens the path. The type command can identify aliases to the other command. Okay, aliases correct. If you create these aliases, okay, they're only available while the shell is open. Once the shell is closed, the new aliases are lost. Okay. So additionally, each shell has its own aliases. So when you open a different shell, it has different aliases. The type commands can identify aliases to the other commands. Okay. So let's type 11 LL, sorry. So LL is alias to ls-alf, which is a longer command. Okay. Okay, another programming question. Functions, what are the functions? Anybody remember?
Yeah, we could use functions to perform actions in our programs.
Exactly.
So
In a
it could be like
shell,
blocks. They could contain blocks of code to carry out various commands, basically.
mhm. Okay, so in a shell, function can also be built using existing commands. You can build functions. So you can create a new command and override commands built into shell or commands stored in files. So this is a very powerful tool. Okay, aliases and functions are normally loaded from initialization file. When the shell first starts, they are built-in aliases and functions. Okay, quoting. So now coding has meanings, different meanings in shell. So double quote is stop the shell from interpreting some characters. Okay. So there are globe character, also called while character or symbol, that have a specialized meaning. So some characters are used as a command. For example, asterisk It's used in a command. What does asterisk means? Do you guys know what asterisk means in a command? You probably use in programming. Asterisk, the star.
In I know at least in command in CMD, it's a wildcard.
It's a wildcard. Same thing in Linux shell. But what if you want to use asterisk symbol itself? You don't mean wildcard, but you want to use asterisk. So that's when the coding comes into the play. So here, so when you want to display something that is normally a special character for the shell, so asterisk is a special character for the shell, but you want to display asterisk, right? So in this situation, you have to use codes. So there are different type of codes. Let's see. Okay. So the double quote stops the shell for interpreting some meta characters. Meta characters are special characters that had some meaning to the shell. For example, asterisk. Okay, including globe. So we'll talk about globe characters later on. So asterisk is a wildcard. It means anything, right? Right in DOS. Same thing in DOS. So here, if I type echo, so if I wanna display echo, I have to put this in quotation marks. So so it types it displays the asterisk and question mark and double quote. These are all special characters. Okay. So if I put that in quotation mark, they will be displayed as just the character, not the special character. Doesn't meaning they don't have any meaning. So within double quote, an asterisk is just an asterisk. A question mark is just a question mark, and so on. Meaning they don't have any special meaning when you put that in double quotation mark. It will display as double quotes also allow you to use for command substitution, variable substitution, and permit other shell characters. So in this example, echo will display the path. Okay, so the quotation. So what do you understand here? What does quotation mean?
I guess it's just telling you about the information, what it contains, right?
Double quotation means, so shell has some special characters that is used to execute something. Okay, for example, when you type question mark, well, it's not a command. Anyway, question mark, for example, question mark has a meaning. Double braces has meaning, right? It's considered a special character. Okay, question mark considered a special character. Asterisk considered a special character. So if you wanna, display this special character, you put that in double quotation. That's all. All right, guys, is that okay? Okay, the break is 10 o'clock. We have maybe 10 minutes more. Then we're gonna end this chapter and then go for a break.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so let's continue. Exactly. Okay, single quotes. What does single quote means? Single quotes prevents the shell from doing any interpreting of special characters, okay, including globe, variables, command substitution, and other meta characters. So here, it will prevent, for example, to make the dollar character simply mean a dollar, because dollar is actually an argument, if you remember. Dollar means something. But if you want to use actually a dollar sign, so for example, if I type echo the car costs $100, dollar will not appear in the output because it's a special character. You see, it will not appear in the output. Remember, we use the dollar when we create what? Variables. So it's a special character, sorry.
It's the call variables, right?
Exactly. So just think, it doesn't matter what it means. Just think, it's a special character that shell uses. Now, what if I want to display? I want to display $100, right? Cost $100. I can put that in single quote. So if I want to display the car costs $100. So you see the difference here. It's omit. It used as a function. In the first command, it used as a function, and here it used as just the dollar sign. So that's what single quotation means. Simple. Backlash character, which is a character, right? Okay. It's a technique to essentially single quote a single character is to use backlash character. So there's an alternative technique. A single quote, a single character. Okay. So the service costs $1 and the path is dollar path. Let's see if you just type this, what's going to happen. Echo. All right. Anyway, so it will just, if I type this echo, it shows it is using dollar as a path. Okay, so it shows the path. It's not displaying the service cost $1 and the path is path. It's just because it's a special character, right? Now it is placed in the single quotes. Dollar and path are not considered variables. Okay, so if you place it in the single quote,
You have a dollar sign in front of the echo.
mhm. You see, that's what happened when you copy and paste. And if there's nobody to correct you, you're just saying, "Oh, what did I do? What did I do?" Okay, so the service costs $1 and the path is path. Now it displays when you put it in the single quote. Here, when you type without the single quote, it take it as the command dollar, a special character, and it displays the command. But when you put it in the single quote, it ignored the special character. And then you can also use backslash instead of single quote. So here, instead of single quote, you can use backslash, which is easier, right? Let's see if you get the same result. So backslash instead of single quote, and so it prevents the shell from interpreting it. The command below does so using the shortcut. So now it's just used as the command interpreter. Now backquotes. Backquotes or backticks are used to specify command within a command. Okay, and this process called command substitution. So if we type, so while it, all right, so let's start. Well, they say it sounds confusing, so let's see. Command substitution or command within a command. To begin with, note the output of the date command. So let's try the date command. What it's going to do? Date will show you the date. Okay, now we echo today. Echo today is date. So it just print today's date. But what if we want to print today's date? So this is, so we can use backquotes. So now if we type today date is, we want to print the date, not today is date. So backquote, where are the backquotes on my, yeah, right here. No. There you go. So what's going to happen? It will display today's date. Today is Wednesday, November 13th. And remember, without the backquote, it's just print. Remember, echo command prints anything that you type after echo. So what we did is we substitute the command. So backquotes are very useful. So you see the usefulness. Instead of just displaying date, it actually executed the date command. Control statements. Okay, so control statements allow you to run multiple command at once. Very useful. Used with the script. So if I want to run, remember, calendar 1 was 2030. So if I want to see calendar 2030, calendar 2, calendar 3, if you want to see 3 different calendar at once, I can type all these commands separated by semicolon. Okay, and it displays January, February, March, 3 months, the first, second, and third, instead of the whole calendar. So you can separate command using the semicolon. Double ampersand. So double ampersand acts as a logical AND. If the first command is successful, then the second command will also run. Okay, so let's try ls etc. So this is also used to combine command. So ls etc displays the list of the directory, right? Now, if we type this ls etc junk, let's see if we can. So there's no such file or directory. Okay. Now, to use success or failure of ls command in conjunction with end, you can combine. Okay, execute command like the following. So here, ls etc pp nn. So it's echo. So 2 commands, you combine 2 commands. ls. What this command does? ls etc ppp. What this command does?
It lists the contents of that directory.
Okay, and what this command does? Echo success.
It'll just echo success.
Perfect. So now you see with one command by using end, you combined two commands. Okay. Here, another example. ls etc junk. And we're going to look for the content of the junk directory. And at the same time, we will display success. Okay. With ampersand. So you remember junk directory was not available, it does not exist. So it executed this command and therefore you have this message. Okay. And here, no such file and directory. It executed, it echoed the, it echoed actually the result. When the command is not fine. If the command is not successful, it will the next command will not be executed. Okay, if the first command is not successful, the next command will not be executed. Okay, double pipe is considered OR. Okay, and so if one command is successful and the other command fail, either command is not successful, the other command will still be executed. Unlike end. Is one command is not successful, the other command will not be executed. But if you type double pipe, so this is end and this is OR. So if one command is successful, the other command will still be executed. So let's type this. The same thing, echo fail. Here, etc junk. Remember, it was not available. It doesn't exist. So the first command will not be successful, right? And it is still, and it displays the echo, the result of the echo. Okay. Even though it was not successful. All right, that's the end of